Alright guys, it's Jahlon with the Paradox Gaming Network, and as promised, here is part 2 of my March update. This is the live stream expectations. As you see on the screen, we got the Alpha 1 sneak peek teaser earlier this week. Lots of hype around it. I personally said it was a 10 out of 10. I think it's one of the best promotional pieces they've done in the 3 years I've been following Ashes. What's really important today is that they have a good showing of this Alpha 1 preview. And in order to make sure we have a good showing, we have to have some realistic expectations. Now, I know a lot of people are majorly hyped. They're ready to throw the lever, let the hype train out of the station again. But realize this is a preview video. We have to keep expectations realistic today. There are the things that you want to see. And as gamers, that's basically the entire game. We want to see everything. We're expecting everything. We think we're going to see everything. But there's what we can reasonably hope to see, because this is a milestone of development. Now, Intrepid in the past has been a little gun shy about showing us stuff. Steven has admitted he wants things to be highly polished. A couple of things he's shown. Sometimes in the live stream, he's not ready to show them. He wants them to be a little bit better. And with that Gamescom preview that they did, they had some fumbles, some stumbles, some bumbles. So I'm not saying go easy on Intrepid. If they need to be put on full blast, put them on full blast. What I'm saying is that hold fire for a second and really think about your expectations for today. And as we go into this, the big one is don't count on an Alpha 1 release date. We probably won't get one today. This is a sneak peek, little advanced look. Now, I do have some hesitations doing this video this way, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the really old Alpha 1 Phase 2 slide from what we were supposed to get when we were supposed to start testing about a year ago. And that's progression to level 20. Nodes will be fully featured and progress to level 3. That would have shops, governments, freeholds. Freeholds were a big one that people were looking for. 4 out of the 9 races, all 8 base class archetypes available. Character creation suite. A quarter of the world's total space, and then server population and servers. With what you're going to see in this video, don't use that slide as your expectations. Progression, not really something you're going to see in a short video. Don't be expecting to see that. Nodes fully featured. This would be hard to show off. Instead, hopefully we're going to see some of those buildings from nodes that are in place and see kind of what a node looks like. 4 out of the 9 races available. We know humans and elves were flushed out in Alpha 0. I mean, not fully, obviously, but they were there. In this preview video that we saw the dwarf. People have been anxiously awaiting the dwarf, so the dwarf was there. Probably no orcs. There hasn't been any discussion yet on the orc races, not even hinted at by the artists that they're working on them. And almost certainly no Tulnar. Previously, we were told Tulnar would be worked on last because they were a Kickstarter milestone. I want to talk about all 8 base class archetypes. People are really excited. We know we're not going to see Rogue, and probably don't count on Summoner, Bard, or Fighter. Intrepid is working on making Mage, Tank, and Cleric work right. If people don't remember, Ranger was the 4th in Alpha 0. I can talk to you about Ranger. Unfortunately, there's a no visual NDA still in place. I can't show you anything from Alpha 0, but I can certainly talk the classes in Alpha 0 for those of you that didn't get a chance to play. With that, also want to talk about the character creation suite. Probably not. They're probably not going to show you that because they're still working on the face models. And as you know, faces are a big part of character creation. 25% of the world's space would be hard to show off during a preview. I will say, hopefully we see something of the world, a world map, a rough layout. We do have the world map from a creative director's letter. It'd be nice to see some form of that in the game. Concurrent server population, this isn't Alpha 1 testing, so we're not going to see that, and they're obviously not going to be 2 to 3 servers. What I want everybody to remember, all of my viewership, my community, my population, this is the Alpha 1 early preview. This is not representative of all of Alpha 1. What you're seeing today in just a couple of hours, this is their preview to kind of show you where they've gotten to, kind of maybe take a stick to all those naysayers that say they're not even working on an MMO. And then I thought this was kind of fitting, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. Robert Frost. Steven has promised us a great game. If you know him, if you've talked to him the last couple of years, he is kind of, upset that he made some mistakes, but he's admitted them. He's moving on. So my predictions, so that we have them on video in advance, I think we're going to see a lot of the created assets in. We're going to see them rendered in the game. I'm talking about the Scale Runner, the Dunewing Falcon, anything we've seen a blog on, anything that got to that level of polish, they did a blog on. I think we'll see a lot of those today. I think we're going to see something on node development or node control user interface. We previously saw just a placeholder for it in 2019. I would not be surprised if we saw something on node development. Building development UI, they have been stressing the building progress, so I think we might see something on that. It would be great if we saw some more of the abilities, maybe a skill tree, how that's gonna look. Those of us that played Alpha Zero, we saw how the generic placeholder worked. And nice to see if they got to that point. Would be excellent if we saw some hybrid combat, which I think we may. They've had tab and action showcased on their own and separate occasions. I think now is the time for this video that show us a little of that, generate some hype about your combat system. And then caravans, I know everybody wants to know about caravans. I spend probably 20% of my time answering questions on caravans. And they said something teased on Twitter that there might be a caravan getting jacked, getting attacked, getting defended. So that I think would be very cool if we got to see that. With that, those are my predictions. What I want from you guys right now is, what's your one thing? Leave a comment below. What's the one thing you are hoping to see in the teaser today? Just so that we can get them documented. That way Intrepid could kind of see where the fan base was before the teaser. It's always great when you have stuff written down in advance, because then there's no Monday morning quarterbacking. There's no going back and changing what you said. It's documented for the historical record. And with that, guys, that is it. I am going to be doing a recap video later today based on what we see. If you didn't check out the other part of this, part 1, where I go through all the deliverables, usually I talk about the missing deliverables or where we're at. Intrepid has knocked it out of the park. That video is up on my YouTube channel already, so definitely check that one out. And then I will see you guys in a couple of hours after Alpha 1's sneak peek drops, and I'll give you my impressions. You guys take care. What are you still doing here? Nobody ever stays this long. This is the end screen. Well, since you're here, there's a couple other videos I think you should check out. And all those names? Those are my patrons over at Patreon. I couldn't do this without them. So, big thanks to them for all their support.